Welcome back to Celestia Astrology. I'd like to tell you a little bit about what's going on in the sky this week so that you can make your plans accordingly. We're moving into Capricorn season today, and it's also the winter solstice, which is a time of rest, reflection, review, rewind, rewrite, reread, all the R words. So just rest, relax, look back on your year, look at what's gone well, look at what you could have done better, look at what didn't work, and decide what you want to carry forward with you into 2023. And that's sort of really the most important thing you can accomplish in these next few weeks between now and the new year, is to make those decisions. That's really what this energy is asking you to do now. The Capricorn energy, as the sun moves into Capricorn, is very stable. It's very earthy and grounded, which Capricorn is an earth sign. It's very pragmatic. It's planning energy. It's about boundaries and structures and the stability of our foundations. And we see that sort of in the collective in the UK, where we're having strikes and we're questioning, do these structures that have served us so well for so long, do they still work? A lot of people are asking, we're seeing changes. Do we want food banks in hospitals? Is our NHS frontline broken? So there's a lot of questions being asked, and part of the reason for that is because we've got Pluto in Capricorn. So as all these planets are joining in Capricorn, these foundations are really being tested, and Pluto brings endings and beginnings. So this is a time when all the planets are joining together in Pluto. It's really coming to that point where these structures for the collective are fully being questioned, and we're having to ask these really hard and difficult questions and decide how we want to go forward with them. And quite often it brings change, and if change doesn't happen, it will force the change. So we may see that change will happen whether we like it or not, whether the government likes it or not, whether the staff like it or not, because it's not sustainable the way that it is. And that's true in our lives as well. It's better to find the areas that need change and work with the planets to make the change before it becomes unsustainable. So in the same way as we see the analogy, we know instinctively the things that work and don't work, but sometimes we resist that change. So in the same way that we can see on the front line of the NHS sort of how it's become, and the food banks for staff in hospitals, we know instinctively that that's not right for people who are working hard and long hours, that they should be paid a living wage. So can we also apply that in our lives, where we know instinctively really what's right and what's wrong, and what works for us and what doesn't? But can we ask ourselves where we are resisting that change? What old structures have we clung to just because it's always been that way? Because we find that sometimes just because something's always been done a certain way, that doesn't make it correct and right for the lives that we're living now. And sometimes it's okay to change. It's all right to release something and let it go and move into the new. And sometimes that's a painful and hard process. And sometimes Pluto will help us with that. And Pluto in the new year will be moving into Aquarius to give us a taste of what that means before he retrogrades back into Capricorn, and just make sure that we've made the changes that are necessary. But for now, while all those planets are in Capricorn, the necessary thing is just to have a look, have a review, and just check that you're happy with everything. And of course, don't forget that Jupiter has just moved into Aries, and Jupiter makes a 11.5 to 13 year cycle of the zodiac. So he goes round bringing growth and expansion wherever he goes. And in Aries, it's very fiery initiator energy, and it's the first sign of the zodiac. So there's a lot of learning needed and a lot of dash in and just do type energy. So where a Capricorn is the elder. He's seen it, done it, been there before. So he knows how to manage the change carefully and slowly, whereas Aries just wants to dash in and say what needs to be said, change what he wants to change, and do the change immediately. Capricorn will plant the seed of change very slowly and carefully, choose. So if you take the analogy of planting a seed in the garden, Capricorn would choose carefully, very carefully choose the right soil, the right point in the garden where you've got the right balance of sun and shade and the right balance of the soil, maybe change the soil, add some sand to get the right acidity. Aries would just plant the seed and leave it, it's done, just go on out there, dig a hole, plant it, great, that's done, what's next? So make sure you get a right balance of those energies, because Aries will be, Jupiter in Aries, bringing that growth, will be pushing you to get it done, move on quickly. There's lots to be done, lots of great ideas. Jupiter's gathered up loads of ideas from your hopes and dreams in Pisces, and now he's bringing them all into reality. There's lots he wants to get going with, and Capricorn's saying, hold on, slow it down, let's make a plan. So listen to them both, temper them both, because Jupiter, there's a chance of burnout. If you follow all that growth and expansion, you might be expanding the wrong things. You might be growing in the wrong areas. So listen to the elders and take the wisdom of Capricorn and balance that with the youthful energy of Jupiter, and get the best balance between them both. And use that winter solstice reflection of what worked and what didn't. But remember that with Jupiter, this is a 13 years, 11 to 13 year cycle. So, you've only got this youthful energy once in the next 13 years. So maybe look back over the last 11 to 13 years and look at what you started 11 years ago and how that's come to completion now. And think about what you want to start now and grow for the next 11 years for you. Because that's important to make a start on it. Don't run away with it, the idea, but certainly make a start on growing something that's going to last for you for that long. Because that's important, but let Capricorn help you to make sensible, stable plans, pragmatic plans that are going to last and stand the test of time. Because Capricorn will bring the boundaries, bring the lessons, but he also crystallises our plans. He'll pay attention to those details in an almost Virgoan way, because Capricorn will make sure it gets done, and it'll get done right with Capricorn. There's no shortcuts there. So, if you think of Capricorn, the symbol is like the mountain goat, because he's so determined. He's going to get up that mountain, and it doesn't matter what barriers are put in his way, it's going to happen. So that's the energy that you've got now. These plans are going to happen. And he will find a way, and he'll find a way to overcome the barriers. So certainly if you've had barriers in the things that you're planning to do, now is the time to find a way around them. So I wish you lots of luck with those plans. Good luck. And if you need an astrologer to help you find a way through and identify things that you're working with, and certainly if you want help to manage those plans, the astro coaching is a great way of tuning into the energy each month, and find out where your moon is each month and what areas are opening up with support for you, and where your Saturn is, where your limitations are, and where your Jupiter is, where your support is. So that's a great way of making your plans happen. Okay, thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.